Donald Trump has made utter fools of these MAGA Republican Congress members and senators. They have to go on TV and justify Elon Musk stealing your data or invading Canada. They have to go on TV and justify getting rid of Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security. I want to show you what they have to do. They parade themselves on TV and they talk about all of this dangerous and crazy and harmful stuff. And then on the other hand, you have the Democratic members of Congress who I think are now really beginning to fight back hard. It took them a while, but they're fighting back hard and they're calling it a Republican bait and switch. And they're talking about the coup that's taking place where these Republicans are allowing Elon Musk to go into government entities and agencies and destroy them and take your data. Let me just give you the facts. Let me back up what I'm saying with exhibits as if I were in a courtroom presenting the facts. So here's a MAGA Republican representative who just went on Fox Business, Andy Harris. And here's what MAGA Republican Andy Harris said. He's saying basically that, unless you're really working, even if something's wrong, that happened to you, no Medicaid for you. Here, play this clip.
Look, we think that there should be work requirements for able-bodied people who choose not to work. We don't think they should be on Medicaid. We don't think they should be receiving food stamps. There are ways that, again, we can cut the tremendous increase in the what we call the non-Social Security, non-Medicare, non-interest payment part of mandatory spending. There are tremendous opportunities. We've uncovered them. We're going to be talking about them over the next few weeks because we think that's the gold mine that needs to be hit.
Okay. You want me to bring it to the next level? Here's MAGA Republican Congressmember Riley Moore. He's saying, look, Republicans, we need to pay our tax cuts for the billionaires with people's Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid. Yep, he goes, we got to get rid of this mandatory spending. And when he talks about mandatory spending, mandatory spending is Social Security and Medicare. So just be clear what he's talking about here. Just hear him in your own words. This is what the MAGA, I could show you 10 of these. I'm not going to. I'm just going to show you this one. Let's play it.
Time opportunity here in unified government to actually address mandatory spending.
Yeah.
Mandatory spending is the biggest driver of the debt in this country. And so we have to address that. And that's what the House Republicans are so solely focused on while taking care of all these other agenda items that we've discussed, taxes and all the like.
So you do believe that there will be an effort to cut into mandatory spending in order to get some offsets for some of the spending in the reconciliation bill?
Yes, that's what we've been discussing. And as I said, I think this is our once in a lifetime opportunity. You see government shutdowns over discretionary spending all the time in the appropriations bills. Just to be clear, discretionary spending is only 26% of every dollar that's spent annually in the United States. So we got nearly
you have a lot of choices, yeah.
Mandatory, and if we don't address that, I mean, we're in a world of hurt. You got 75% of it's mandatory spending.
So you get the point that the MAGA Republicans are going on and trying to act like it's patriotic or some great thing for you to give up your Social Security, your Medicare, your Medicaid, your rights to Donald Trump and Elon Musk. So then you get MAGA Republican Representative Pete Sessions. Now, he goes on CNN here and he goes, look, Elon Musk and Elon Musk's team, they showed up at the Treasury Department and all these government agencies and they said, give me the data. And so the people who were working there until they got fired by Donald Trump, they wouldn't give Elon Musk your data. So what Elon Musk had to do is he had to bring in this team of 19 and 22-year-old like hackers, and they had to come in and they had to break into it. So they broke into it, so to speak. He goes, Musk's team broke into your data as though this is supposed to be normal. Here, play this clip.
What are these people, many of them young staffers without government experience, doing with my private information? I mean, as we know that they've accessed private information about, for example, those who have received disaster relief and the DHS system. What can you tell us about that data, what they're doing with it, what they're accessing?
Yeah, well, first of all, they're not interested in anybody's particular private data because within these systems, they are payment systems of where money was going out and where they're gaining visibility and access to that. I will tell you that I strongly believe that the request that they had, they were not receiving positive viewpoints on people did not want to comply. So when they chose not to comply, they brought their own people in who broke into, so to speak, these databases and provided the information we needed. And the government people, computer programmers were shocked that it could happen.
I mean, if you're watching this overseas, if you're watching this in Canada, if you're watching this anywhere internationally, if you're watching this in Mexico, we have supporters across the globe. You're like, what? He's saying that just a random private citizen oligarch goes in and just hacks your data and they had to do it. And the Republican spineless members of Congress are like, yeah, we need to do it. Look, I'll raise the bar for you. So then Donald Trump's National Economic Council director, one of the top economic people for the MAGA Republicans, Kevin Hassett, he goes on CNBC. And by the way, this CNBC reporter is like an ultra MAGA guy who gave Donald Trump like the most propaganda interviews ever. And here this guy is with this shit-eating grin, like, we're going to make Canada a 51st state. From the White House lawn. I mean, look at this. It makes me livid, and I can't even imagine how it makes you feel if you're from Canada. Here, play this clip.
People, wages for the people, and lower inflation, and that's what I mean. That's 100% is what the strategy is.
I mean, he's told Brett Baer he really is serious about Canada as a 51st state. There are some things that you're laughing, but are there times where you're like coming up with ways to defend some things that seem a little bit maybe outlandish?
When the U.S. was founded, how many states did we have?
Hey, Kevin.
And how many do we have now? And so is it outlandish? Is it outlandish to dream?
Some of it seems a little outlandish.
I don't think so.
I mean,
so
I
it's
like
crazy
it
to let Hawaii and Alaska come. It's just crazy. It's outlandish that we brought Alaska in.
Canada's really mad.
I got one for you, Kevin.
But I think he's telling you that they are serious.
Now, before I showed you that clip, I said, I don't know how it makes you feel in Canada. I would say the MeidasTouch Network now may be the biggest YouTube channel and the biggest media channel in Canada. And to all our Canadian viewers, thank you from the bottom of my heart for putting your trust in the MeidasTouch Network, because we're very supportive of our Canadian supporters here, and we are going to fiercely, as some of my Canadian supporters say, we feel like we're living above a meth lab. It's even worse when you're living in it. I don't even know how to it's worse when you're actually here. But we will work from within, as I said, until they grab this microphone and rip it from my hands. I'm going to be fighting for the sovereignty of Canada, for normalcy here, for people's rights, for people's social security and Medicare here, and for all of that. And we're going to be fighting for peace across the world here. So, but I know our Canadian supporters, they're boycotting America. I know that the United States tourism lobby says that if 10% of Canadians do not travel to the United States, if the United States tourism industry just takes a 10% hit, that would be $2 billion, since Canadians spend $22 billion a year in the United States. And that would cost 144,000 jobs in the United States. Tell me what your number is in Canada. I think the Canadian boycott of traveling to the United States and the boycott of buying American products, especially as Donald Trump just slapped more tariffs on Canada, I think the boycott's 50, 60%. Canadians, it's a scarlet letter for Canadians to come to the United States and to buy American stuff unless they're like forced to. If you think I got it wrong, Canadians, tell me in the comments. If you think I got it right, tell me in the comments. But I'm listening to what you're telling me loud and clear, and I'm trying to report on what you're telling me. Okay. So here, this MAGA Republican Congress member Babin, here he goes. The founding fathers didn't intend for people to come into America and have babies that become citizens. As Celia goes, they literally effing did, bro. That was literally the whole effing point. Here, watch this.
Well, for one thing, Sandra, it's great to be with you. We're being this bill is being accused of eliminating birthright citizenship. The executive order of President Trump does not eliminate birthright citizenship. This bill does not. I'll say this repeatedly. It does not eliminate birthright citizenship. It clarifies it. It has been the most misunderstood, misinterpreted thing, I think, in the federal government. It's been around since 1868, the 14th Amendment. And what this does is clarify who gets birthright citizenship. No way in heck did the founding fathers or did the Congress in 1868 in the post-Civil War era ever intend for illegal immigrants to come sneaking into our country or birth tourism to millionaires from China and elsewhere coming in to have babies and have these babies become citizens of the United States just by virtue of a misinterpretation of this 14th Amendment. So this will clarify, and you said it, there are 3 instances when one of the parents has to satisfy so that the baby will qualify and become a citizen of the United States of America.
Okay.
That's all we're doing. We're trying to bring clarification to this because it is nothing but a boondoggle. It is an abuse of our system, and it has to stop.
You think
Because the MAGA Republicans are trying to justify Donald Trump via executive order changing the United States Constitution and revoking birthright citizenship. All right, let's go to some Democrats. Cleanse a little bit. Here's the Democratic minority leader, Hakeem Jeffries, and here he is talking about the bait and switch of the MAGA Republicans who are coming for your Medicaid, your Medicare, and your Social Security. It's why I wanted to show you those videos at the outset so you can see it's not hyperbole. They're literally doing it. Here, play the clip.
What's the final element of the Republican bait and switch? Enact these massive tax cuts for billionaires and wealthy corporations and stick working class Americans with the bill. The nerve of this group of people who spent all last year lecturing the country about how they were going to do something to drive down the high cost of living, do nothing about it, are planning to enact massive tax cuts for their billionaire buddies, and then, as the final element of the Republican bait and switch, stick working class Americans with the bill. House Republicans have no plan to love and cherish Medicaid. Let's be very clear about that. No plan to love and cherish Medicaid. Their plan is to destroy Social Security, destroy Medicare, and destroy Medicaid as we know it.
Now here's Hakeem Jeffries again talking about the Republican bait and switch. Let's play it.
Last year, all we heard from my Republican colleagues was the need to do something about the high cost of living, while at the same time, they ran away from Project 2025 as if it didn't exist. This year, Republicans have spent all of their time implementing the most extreme parts of Project 2025 and have done nothing to lower the high cost of living. Not a single thing. Not a single bill.
I had the incredible opportunity to speak with the Democratic National DNC chair, Ken Martin. Here's what he has to say. Play this clip.
Well, look, it's only been 3 weeks and Elon Musk has already shown that he's the worst president that the U.S. has ever had. And so in all honesty, I mean, this is the guy that was put in charge to bring efficiency to our government. The last thing he cares about is actually helping improve people's lives. Him and Donald Trump, basically, you have this government now that's been bought and by the billionaires. The billionaires have one thing in mind, which is to make the most amount of profit they can off the backs of hardworking men and women in this country. You know, I don't know how in the hell changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America is going to help anyone in this country right now.
And then here's Democratic Senator Murphy. Here's what he's got to say, that it's not hyperbole that democracy right now is on the brink of falling in the United States. And the courts are holding it up because these spineless Republicans want fascism. They want authoritarianism. Play the clip.
As we look at the developments that have happened in the last 48 hours, what are your concerns about this moment that we're at with the courts, with the president, and with this suggestion from 2 of his top advisors that maybe they defy the court's rulings?
Yeah, listen, I mean, this isn't hyperbole to say that we are staring the death of democracy in the eyes right now. The centerpiece of our democracy is that we observe court rulings. criminal court rulings, civil court rulings, and constitutional court rulings. No one is above the law. And whether we like it or not, the courts interpret the law. So yes, throughout the history of the United States, the courts have made rulings on when the executive branch is exercising legal power and when they are going beyond the power that they have, either constrained by statute or by the Constitution, just as they regularly rule on whether or not individuals have complied with the law or violated the law, whether those be civil laws or criminal laws. If the President of the United States says, you know what, I don't care what the courts say, I'm going to do whatever the hell I want, that's essentially the end of the rule of law, because if the president isn't bound by our laws and the Constitution, then why would anybody else be bound by our laws and the Constitution? This is a really dire moment. And no, so far they've been talking tough, but I think largely have complied with these court orders. I think there's going to be a question as to how well they've complied with the orders. But if they were to outright ignore an order, as J.D. Vance and Elon Musk are suggesting, that is maybe the greatest challenge to our democracy in any of our lifetimes.
But then finally, what Fox has their, this WWE fascism. Like Jesse Waters reminds me of that, the host from the Hunger Games, like, the hair, every aspect about this guy. And the whole thing is just so, performative and dumbed down. So they bring Hulk Hogan on, and Hulk Hogan comes on with like his American beer that he sells. It's like, oh yeah, the Hulkster. Here, play this clip.
I would love it. From his lips to my ears.
I dare them to shotgun one of these 24-ounce big slams. You will really have your Trump pump on, brother.
We're sending a case to Barkley.
Man, I wish I was there.
We're sending him to shotgun him during the parade in Philly.
Jesse Waters. I'd bust you up real bad, Jesse Waters.
Let's go.
I'd make you drink the whole thing.
Let's go. See you, Hulk.
I need a nap.
And really what Fox is doing there is just polluting the minds of America. I mean, they are. I mean, it's just they know that 60% of Americans have under a 5th grade education. And so they're just Hulk Hogan, yeah, America. Meanwhile, America has never been weaker. And Donald Trump every day is pushing America closer to a Great Depression. Keep me posted, Canada, on your boycott. And I want to hear in the comments is it closer to 100% of your friends that are boycotting? Do you know anybody in Canada who's buying American? Do you think this is all Canada now just trashing American stuff? I need to hear from you. Let me know so I can report on it accurately. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 4 million subscribers. Thanks for watching.
Can't get enough Meidas? Check out the Meidas Plus Substack for ad-free articles, reports, podcasts, daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, and more. Sign up for free now at MeidasPlus.com.